And the National Women's Council is calling for the free contraception scheme to be opened up and expanded with no barriers based on age or migration status. New research from the group suggests that while the scheme has been groundbreaking since its launch in 2022, many women from marginalised communities still face obstacles in accessing it. For more on this, we're joined by Doireann Crossan, Head of Policy with the National Women's Council. Doireann, thank you very much for joining us this morning. This survey spoke to just over 500 participants in the scheme, but you particularly sought out women from marginalised groups to find out what their experience was.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a mixed message research project. So as you say, we spoke to more than 500 women through a survey, but also 4 focus groups. So we spoke to traveller women, migrant women, LGBTQ plus individuals, and also disabled women. So I suppose the focus was to really understand how these particular groups of women, their experiences and their knowledge of the scheme to date. And I think for us, one of the headline figures is that 31% of the women that we spoke to are experiencing barriers in the scheme.
OK, can you talk to me about what were some of the more common challenges that they told you about?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. So for us, what we saw was the most common challenge being, first of all, the eligibility criteria for the scheme itself. So as we know at the moment, the scheme covers women aged 17 to 35. So anyone over 35 that we spoke to obviously didn't qualify for the scheme and couldn't participate. And then as well as that, you need a PPS number to actually access the scheme as well. So that meant that women that we spoke to who were maybe engaged in the International Protection Scheme or undocumented couldn't access. Other barriers included things like not having a GP. So for instance, there were migrant women in that particular focus group who had been living and working in Ireland for several years, but actually just because of the waiting list couldn't access a GP, and you can't get free contraception without first getting that referral.
I was struck by some of the testimony given by disabled women. They spoke about 2 things. One of them was very practical in terms of their physical ability in getting some of the contraception, and others was simply about the attitude that they faced with. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is actually something that's coming up repeatedly in various health research projects that we're doing, but accessibility for disabled women is just not equal across the country. So we spoke to women who were going in, for instance, to get a coil fitted, so long-acting reversible contraception, and the actual facility that they were in didn't have the appropriate lifts in the tables or in the supports. So, you know, that's really not appropriate. It's not acceptable. Those women then had to return home, you know, maybe go to a different health clinic to get what should be just a basic health need contraception.
Attitudes were a big factor as well for all of the women from marginalised communities in accessing this contraception. One of the women, again, it was a disabled woman, said, you know, the impression she got was, well, you're not going to need it. You know, talk to us more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that actually came up. It was a pattern across many of the focus groups. So as you say, disabled women spoke about it, and this kind of idea that just because you have a disability, you're not maybe actively engaged in a sexual or romantic relationship. But also similarly, we spoke to traveller women in that focus group who talked about actually not even wanting to engage with the scheme because of past experiences of discrimination, or even in one case, a traveller woman encountered a healthcare professional who was like, oh, great that you're in. We know that members of your community don't normally take contraception, implying that I suppose the high number of pregnancies in the traveller community means that they're not interested in availing of contraception. So there's a lot of misinformation in terms of the health practitioners as well.
So you'd like to see all of these things addressed. You'd like to see the scheme expanded. How confident are you that the Department of Health will take your concerns on board and take action?
Well, we absolutely remain hopeful. This research report was actually commissioned by the Department of Health. So there's a real opportunity here with these findings, and particularly in the context where there's going to be a new Women's Health Action Plan developed and launched hopefully later this year. So we really hope that these recommendations will be taken on board and feed into that new plan.
OK, Doireann Crossan, Head of Policy with the National Women's Council, thank you very much for coming in to us.